the Yale Review on Yale Radiocast.
What is going on, Yale Radiocast land? It is your boy Josh, the intern of the Mail Review. We are back in the building here at Studio 7B. We're about to have an amazing show today. We back in the building with we got the fellas. We got pretty much a full leg in the building.
It's a full leg. Well, we missing.
We missing somebody on the phone. What was he? He
was the shin. He was the shin. TR is the shin.
The shin is missing.
The shin is missing.
Yes.
But we can do without shin. We're shinless.
We're shinless. Okay. But we got
shinless.
But we in here. We got a good one today. We got lots of things going on. Lots of things to talk about. And some exciting things to talk about going on right now. But we're going to bring it to right now. We're bringing my man Markel.
What's good? Live from Studio 7B. Hey, the champ is here. What's going on out there, Radiocast land? You are here with the flagship show. I'm going to keep on saying it until somebody can knock me off of it.
That's the hashtag.
The flagship show, the Mail Review. My man, I'm chilling. Big Josh, the intern in the building. What's good with you today, man?
Living life, man.
Life. I'm good too, man. I had a good week, man. Yep. Everything's been gravy. And do you know, since we just got past Memorial Day, it's officially summer. And we outside. We outside. I'm still gonna wear my damn mask, but we still outside though. We outside. What you think, my brother? Also in the building, the another part of the leg. See, I'm the kneecap. Y'all understand? I'm the kneecap. You know, I can shift ACL, can tell. My man, Dylan Yale is in the building. Dylan Yale, what's good?
I just want to put my swag on for 1 moment.
Swagger check.
See, what y'all don't understand is it's Gemini season. It's Gemini season.
Which one?
You sound like pick one.
Both of them.
Pick one.
Both of them.
We own the whole year.
Oh my God.
We own the whole year. We allow y'all to be great. Shout out to. I don't know if we want to shout out Cancer. Shout out Markel. We don't want to shout out to anything.
We want Taurus in there.
I mean, Taurus is cool. It's in the same month of May.
We bring it into you. You know.
All right. So
we leave it up.
Hey man,
we hype it up. You know, we hype up the year for y'all.
Don't leave the Scorpions out though. You can't leave them out.
We want Scorpions.
I mean, want is a strong word, sir. I'm just saying, don't leave them out because if you never mind.
You know this thing, right?
You know when you pull a grenade, you know how many seconds you got. I mean, you. Never mind. But you can't leave the Scorpions out. I'm just leaving that. I'm just leave with that.
We got a Scorpio in the building?
Is there Scorpions?
We'll get to that. We'll get to all that.
We're going to get there.
We'll get to all that.
We're going to get there. Okay.
I just want to say I'm still in the mode of celebrating my birthday.
Right on.
Oh, yeah,
outstanding birthday, May 30th.
You don't look a day over 70.
Says the guy with the Moses beard.
Don't hate. On a beer gang in the house.
Beer gang, that's a little hate right there. I wish I could
beer
get
gang.
There. I wish I could get there, brother.
You will.
No, man.
You will.
Man, I celebrated my birthday last weekend,
yes,
Memorial Day weekend, and it was outstanding. I couldn't ask for a better birthday than the one that I had last weekend. I had no plans. You know what? I said, I got off work and I said, baby, let's go down to Pensacola. Let's see what happened.
And then the story changed. I wound up the day cruise. I seen you on the boat. He always
boats and hoes.
The boats and hoes.
The boats and hoes.
Birthday bash.
Listen,
it is now a thing.
It is a thing. You have to take a picture on the boat of some sort every year.
Yes,
bro.
every year. The boats and hoes.
The first annual.
So next year you may be invited to the boats and hoes. To the second annual boats and hoes.
Yes. More boats, more hoes, as he says.
More boats.
Y'all, come on now, we playing. I know y'all out there going, I know Markel didn't just say hoes.
More boats and more hoes.
I didn't say that.
But anyway,
even boatier, even holier.
I do want to give a shout out to everybody that helped me celebrate my birthday. Definitely my lady Phoenix.
Yes.
Came through with the gifts. My brothers that I've known, TR came all the way down from Mississippi just
He stopped drilling long enough.
He stopped drilling long enough just to come down and toast and went all the way back
to drill some more.
off the liquid marijuana.
Well, right on. Oh, I know about them drinks. Lord have mercy.
The liquid marijuana.
Those drinks right there.
If you
boy.
have not had any of the liquid marijuana, you
Please
are
have
in
one.
for a treat.
Please have one.
And my brothers and saw my son went by and swung and saw my son Devin
Okay.
in his place.
Okay.
In his apartment with his lady.
What? Did you go in there and stomp your feet on
No,
the rug?
I walked in and just made my presence felt.
You ain't moving no stuff around?
I did. I when I walk in the room.
Okay.
When I walk in the room.
I'm just saying.
And the girlfriend.
You turn around and
look. I'm gonna give you a quick story, right? So the girlfriend. He did not know. She did not know that I was coming by, right? So I got off the phone with my son. He gave me the address. I'm pulling up on her, right? So I see looking from the blinds. She up in there, peeking through the blinds, like, who the hell is this? I didn't know that. She didn't know that I was coming. So I'm gonna go knock on the door. She opened the door and then she. She closes the door back. Immediately. Like, he's real. This nigga is real. So son comes to the door. Oh, I just didn't let her know you was coming by, so I walk in the door. Everybody freezes up like, what stories y'all got about me?
Lord, listen. The ones that he don't know are the ones, boy.
Yeah, so it was good though. It was good to see everybody, all my friends and all my family and everybody that helped me celebrate it. It was really appreciated by everybody.
Hey man, toast to you, man.
Enough about me, man. We got to talk about this show today. We got a special guest in the building.
Special guest.
Yes. Mr. Trevor David. I call him Triple A. Mr. Actor. Artist.
Yes.
And author is in the building. Trevor David is in the building. What's up, brother?
Peace and blessings, y'all.
Yes. What's happening?
Good to see you, brother.
Appreciate
Good to see
y'all.
you. Welcome, man.
Fresh off
Glad
of
to be
his
here,
outstanding role in the movie The Underground Railroad, which is up on Amazon Prime right now. So
Limited series.
But
Good.
nonetheless, he has so many things going on that I got to talk about. Not only just the movie, he got his book that he's still pushing that we're going to talk about as well, and he just dropped an outstanding video. So this man is working hard. I'm not going to say he's the hardest working man in entertainment, but he's definitely the hardest working man in Atlanta right now. He is getting it in. So Trev, tell everybody about you, brother.
Tell everybody about me. All right, my name is Trevor David. I'm an actor, author, artist. Like my man Dylan said, live here in Atlanta. Been here about 4.5 years and just trying to do my thing, be a part of what's going on here in Atlanta, man. A lot of things happening, so I'm just trying to get in where I fit in, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's cool, man. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So your experience in Atlanta, you say 4 years you've been here.
A little bit more, about 4.5, yeah.
Okay.
Your experience so far has been very unique, I would say, coming from your background. Give everybody your background.
My background.
Leading into you being here, then we want to go into everything, man.
So, yeah, I got here about 4.5 years ago, actually. I was living in LA before I got here. I was in LA for about 3.5 years.
Okay.
Before that, I was in Japan for 10 years.
Right.
Before that, I was in NYC. That's my hometown for about 3.5 years.
We're going to talk about that.
Before that, I was in Florida.
We're going to talk about that.
We can't talk about that on this show, is it?
Can't talk about
Yeah,
Florida?
I mean,
We just literally mentioned Florida.
Your statute of limitations has expired. We don't know if this man's statute. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, but yeah, you know, I've been around a little bit, and now I'm in Atlanta, and like I said, trying to avail myself to what Atlanta has to offer, having a good time. I love this city, man. It took me a while to get used to it.
I know.
I wasn't a big fan.
That's why I'm asking. Like, you just really felt out of place.
Yes.
Me just knowing Trevor, he really was out of place. Or it seemed like he was just trying to get acclimated to the Atlanta scene.
The life of Atlanta. It's a lot, man. I come from Chicago.
Okay.
So it was different for me too. So I absolutely understand.
Right.
Yeah.
So he had to get comfortable, and I used to talk to our partner Terrence.
Yes, sir.
Who we all
Shout
had
out
kind of
T.
like close, you know what I'm saying, close ties to. And I'm like, hey man, T, is Trevor all right, man?
Sometimes you gotta ask. It don't be all right for everybody. I mean, that's the truth.
Right. So T knowing you the longest, he's like, man, Trevor, he all right, man. He just got to get used to some stuff, man. He not really used to everything.
My first
Culture
couple
shock.
of years here were absolute culture shock, man, on a lot of different levels. Like the highway system, the traffic.
Right. Oh, the traffic.
The fact that
Lack of public transportation.
Well, there's public transportation. There's MARTA, but it's useless as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But another thing that I don't talk about too often, but seeing so many black people in all walks of life everywhere when I got to Atlanta was culture shock for me.
I got you.
It really was a very, very different thing that I had experienced in LA.
Right.
Even NYC, even New York. I mean,
really?
The saturation of black people here everywhere was a shock to me, man, and it took me a little bit to get used to that.
Okay.
And that's interesting that you are not acclimated to be around a lot of black
It
people
is, bro.
to playing a role in the Underground Railroad.
Nice segue.
So how did you fit it? But we're going to talk about that.
Nice
We're going to
segue.
go ahead and get into that. But I think we should go ahead and go on a quick commercial break.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
We're going to go on this break, and then we're going to talk about everything from this role in this outstanding miniseries. We're going to talk about your music journey, and we're going to talk about you just as a cultured man in America.
Love it, bro.
And all of us as well. I think this is a good collective of guys that we're all well traveled to have these discussions that, so people can get this conversation from a man's perspective. Huh?
Love it, bro.
So we're going to go on a break. Go ahead, talk to him, Josh.
So when we come back, guys, Trev, Mark, Dylan, what we gonna do? What's the motto?
Hold on, whoa.
Wait.
Stop the presses.
Stop the presses. We got a comment from a Miss Trey Michael.
Trey Michael. This is actually the Trey show. It's the Trey show.
Yeah.
We call it the Male Review.
Oh yeah, we forgot about
But
that.
it's really the Trey show. You'll see it in a moment. You'll see. Hey, Trey, darling, how you doing? She said I took to it immediately when I moved to the A. I feel you, Trey. Let me just say, Trey is also from Illinois. She's from Illinois. She's from the Chicagoland areas. We talk about that. So we talk about this all the time. So moving here, one thing was I wanted to get the hell out of Chicago. I'm going to be 100 with you. I wanted to get the hell out of Chicago. Anybody that knows me from Chicago, this is not a shock to them. I knew when I was 12, I want to get the hell out of Chicago. So when I got to Atlanta, though it was a culture shock, I embraced it. I mean, I dived right in, mouth open, because I wanted to get out of Chicago so much I was ready to embrace another culture.
Feel that.
So that was a big thing. So yeah, we hear you, Trey. We hear you. Definitely, when you got to the A, you embraced it. It was definitely different from the way things worked. Definitely, especially in the Chicagoland area.
Me too, Trey.
So what we ain't gonna do is Trey.
Me too, Trey.
Yeah, us too, Trey. Yeah, we just gonna me too, Trey. Hey, listen though, if you do want to call in and holler at our boy Trevor, 678-586-9241, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to get everything prepped and set for us to have this outstanding show. I think we're going to have a hot show.
It's going to be a hot show, man.
So
It's going to be a hot show.
So go ahead, Josh.
Let's get to business.
Hey.
This is Dylan Yale, the program director of Yale Entertainment and Yale Radiocast. If you feel like you're the person to talk about politics, sports, entertainment, and more, Yale Radiocast is giving opportunities to those who are interested in a career in podcasting. We are now being heard by over 20 streaming platforms, including iHeartRadio, Pandora Music, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and more. Let Yale Radiocast be the brand that delivers your voice to the world. Contact us at YaleRadiocast.com or email us at yaleent1@gmail.com. The Yale brand is the gold standard, and this is Yale Radiocast. Get the business.
Hey, thank you for tuning in to Yale Radiocast. Listen, business owners, people that are entrepreneurial in spirit and need to get their business out there, contact Yale Entertainment. We will advertise your company. We will advertise your brands with a listener base that covers the globe. We offer a variety of packages at affordable prices. Call us at 678-586-9241. If you need to email us, you can contact us at yaleent1@gmail.com. If you need to get your business out there, contact Yale Entertainment to get the business.
Yale Radiocast, the home of the hits. We already have plenty of music for the radio, but this right here is for the streets. Tune in to Hard Block Radio. That's right, music straight off the block. From the ride to the club, from trap to gangster rap. We got it right here on Yale Radiocast. Yeah, Radiocast, the gold standard of online radio. We already bring you all hits all day, but this one right here is for my hip-hop heads. Tune in to Lyrical Exercise Radio. All bars, all day. You already know how we bring it from the East Coast to the West Coast to down south and even international. Hip-hop ain't dead is right here on Yale Radiocast. Yale Radiocast, now on Pandora Radio.
We are here, back live in Studio 7B. We was just working out a little difficulty apparently. I wasn't running my mouth, which is that's a shame because I'm usually running my mouth. That's crazy.
No, you was running your mouth about something.
I was talking about something else. Indeed,
as we
I'm
were
sorry
going
about
live.
that, y'all.
Let's
Sorry
just
about
call
that.
it for what
Welcome
it is.
back to the Mail Review, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with our special guest, Trevor David,
Yes, sir.
in the building.
Yes, sir.
The actor, artist extraordinaire over here in the corner.
And author.
Actor, artist, and author. The man is a triple threat, and he does a lot of things, man. We were just kind of chatting about a lot of the things that he does. So, welcome back here with us on this fine Saturday afternoon, and you, of course, get to kick it with the Mail Review, as always.
Right.
If you want to give us a call, that phone number is 678-586-9241, 678-586-9241. If you want to chat with our guests, or you want to chat with one of us, or you got some shit to talk.
Right. We haven't had a man on fire moment.
We have not.
Let's go ahead and go into a man on fire moment. We haven't had one in a minute.
Now Man on Fire, man.
Go ahead and explain Man on Fire.
Listen, Man on Fire is something that, you feel deep down in your spirit, over the course of the time that you've been kicking through the world, or you've been kicking through life, or something that came up this week, or something you saw on TV this morning, something that made you go, man, what the hell was that?
And it just got you hot as a man.
On fire.
And
So you want me to tell you something?
Yeah,
You can, man.
We just want
what you on fire about this week?
You know what? I don't like it when you get close to somebody in certain different ways,
right,
and then at some point that transitions to them feeling like they own you.
Oh wait, that's bad.
They feel like you are beholden to them because they've given you some of their time, and then they start to throw all kinds of different emotions at you in order to trap you into that emotional sphere that they're in, and act like you don't have autonomy. That's what I think it is, bro. It's a certain amount of narcissism.
Well, let's talk about it. Do you have a moment right now that you could speak about for yourself that just got you on fire?
Well, like I said, just recently I sort of experienced feeling like some of my friends, acquaintances, whatever you might want to call them, think that they have rights over, what I do with my emotion, and that's it. That's my man.
I think I know where that comes from. Okay. If I'm paying attention to a certain post that you recently put up, that's where that comes from. If I'm right,
it could be.
Okay, it could be.
I put my feelings on my page.
Yeah,
he played the same.
Put them out there clean.
I put my feelings on my page.
Well, right on, man. I feel that.
He's playing a little safe with that right now. I get it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. He can be on fire and then playing safe. Keep it close to the vest.
He don't want to
be controlled fire.
Yeah, it can be controlled fire. And speaking of vest, what'd you say your man on fire moment was?
My man on fire moment is everything.
He mad about everything.
Everything. No, I'm not mad about nothing this week.
Nothing?
I have no complaints this week. I am a happy dialer.
You are a happy dialer.
Enjoy this small moment while you can.
Man.
Okay, then we're going to kick it to Mark out there. What was your man on fire moment?
Oh, my God. This week, my man on fire moment came from people who like to call themselves trying to snitch on your boy. Now, I'm speaking about my day job, when I work. So, we get emails all day long. You get to them as quickly as possible. But when people are impatient and they think that they're trying to get something done, they decide to try to tell people over your head about what you're doing. So what you're saying is I don't have the SLA, which is a service level agreement for those who don't understand what SLA is. I don't get the 4-hour time frame. You want to make me hop right now. So, it pissed me off because I'm like, you act like I haven't been here helping you this whole time. So now we're going to play this game on Friday, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you telling on me. Now I need your information now. I want it right now. Nope, that ain't working. Go back and talk to somebody and then come back. Hey, I'm checking in. Did you get it done? Hey, I get off work today at 5 o'clock. Hey, checking in again at 4:45 just to make sure. Because if not, I won't be available till 8 o'clock on Monday. Guess who's going to get an email in their inbox Monday morning at 8:01? Yes, because what I'm saying is, let me work. Let me do what I'm supposed to do.
Like me.
Pisses me off, man. Don't do it to me. That pisses me off. It should piss off anybody.
Josh, you got a man on fire moment?
There was one I was going to touch on, but I'm going to bring in something else that'll kind of bring us into our show a little bit.
Too fired. Too fired.
So there was it's been a good week though. I will say that it's been a decent week. Can't complain with all that. But we did a couple nights ago start watching this show on Amazon. Called The Underground Railroad.
Whoa.
And if you haven't watched it, go check it out now. Again, The Underground Railroad on Amazon, available with Amazon Prime. Okay, check it out. It's great. It's worth it. I'm about 3 episodes in right now. But after the first episode,
ooh. I know where you're going.
Man, I wanted to go kill a white person.
Oh, no. Goodness. Don't do that. Kill the white people?
Josh, I just want to let you know something.
If
we kill white allies.
I ain't talking about allies.
Okay. But how do you know if they're allies?
You talking about ally.
I'll tell you what. You want to know if they're allies or not?
Yes. How?
Sit every one of them down, have them watch that show. Good. And talk to them afterward.
Good point. Let's go with
Watch their reactions while they're watching the show.
Oh,
look at their faces.
Right. If they saying
are they squirming?
Or are they cheering?
Are they laughing?
Or they not?
Or do they do that?
That's right.
Or are they comfortable?
Or do they have that?
Comfortable? Are they comfortable?
Do they have that deep sigh like something that they don't agree with, but they can't say anything?
Right.
That's very interesting. Trevor, man, tell us about that, man. Tell us about your experience on that set, brother.
My experience on the set. Well, I mean, there's lots of different facets of my experience on the set. Do you want me to talk about like how it was when I first arrived, or what?
Your time from the beginning to the end.
Well, that's a lot of talking.
That's
you got to be a little bit specific.
How did you come across?
You asked someone who have a podcast. I know you know how to kind of break it down.
Sure.
How did you come across the opportunity?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
First point. That's a good point. I was in New York a couple of years ago. I was working at Fordham University teaching.
Okay.
And I got an audition. My agent called me from Atlanta and said, "Hey, Trevor, there's a show auditioning in New York. It's called The Underground Railroad. They'd like to see you to come in and audition." obviously I knew a little bit about the Underground Railroad, but I didn't know about the Colson Whitehead book in particular.
It is based on a book. That's what I was going to ask. Was it based on a novel?
Mm-hmm. But obviously I knew what the Underground Railroad was. So I'm in the Bronx teaching at this college, and I got this call. I took the train down to the Bowery for New York City people. And had an audition, had 2 or 3 different auditions, and I auditioned for 2 or 3 different characters. You guys remember the character Jasper? Well, maybe you haven't seen Jasper yet. You have not seen Jasper yet. But you have seen Jasper.
Yes, I'm 9 episodes in.
Okay.
Yes, my man.
So I had an audition for a couple different characters. My character was one of them. And I guess about a month later, I got an email from my agent saying, Trevor, they'd like to have you come in for the role of Red, which was my partner. So I arrived on the set. To do costuming. And that was the day that I was to meet some of the other cast members. It was the first day. And I met my scene partner. His name is Ryan. And I walk into the costuming room, and Ryan is light-skinned brother, red hair. I'm like, this is Red right here.
Right.
I'm not Red.
That's Red, right.
That's Red.
Right.
Who am I? And then a few weeks in, or maybe about a week later, I got an email saying, Trevor, they're going to give you the role of Samson instead of Red. And I was like, cool, as long as I'm a part of the production, I'm happy. And that's what happened. That's how I got cast for the role. Like I said, that was 2 years ago, last summer. 2 summers ago, I'm sorry.
2 summers ago. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So that's how I got it.
So what was your expectations of the movie based off you reading the script? Did it really come to fruition of how you read the script versus what you saw?
Bro, being on set was much more visceral and incredible than I could have ever imagined it. Being on that set was easily the most memorable moment of my life thus far as an actor.
Wow.
It was incredible, man. When I read the script and I read my scenes and what have you, I knew it was going to be a powerful production. It's the Underground Railroad. It can't not be. But then when I got to the set and saw the scale of what it actually was, it took my breath away.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it like, man? And of course, we know, being an actor, you naturally have to get into your role.
Yes.
And so other actors, of course, are getting into their role. What did it feel like to it looks like you were almost thrust into a place in history that you're going to be unfamiliar with as far as you're going to be unfamiliar as an outsider. You aren't a part of that history. You've read, you've heard things. We know about the atrocities that took place during that time. But what did it feel like for these people to turn and suddenly become other people? What did that feel like as a black man? What did that feel like to you?
Well, I try to approach all of my roles based on whatever emotion the character is supposed to portray.
Okay.
That's my homework, so to speak. So when I got the role, and obviously I know about the Underground Railroad, like I said, I went into some history and did some research about some of the atrocities that you were talking about, and it's very easy to find.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all over everything, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. So I did a lot of research, and like Josh was saying earlier, you can't help but be riled up emotionally about what those people experienced. And what I found was a lot, I hate to say this, man, but what I found was a lot of hate building up in me. So while I was preparing for the role, I'm finding all this hate developing in me, and it was really difficult because you don't want to live your life on a daily basis with all this hate. Yeah. So I'm walking around.
A choice. Can you imagine?
Exactly, man. Yeah. Exactly. They had those people back there had no choice. There was no cut, and then we go back to just being regular people chilling. There was no cutting of the cameras back then. They were always filled with that hate, and going through that hate for a few weeks or a few months like I did while I was on the set, I can only imagine having to live your life with all that hate, but with no outlet for it. Nothing. Nothing. Any outlet that you might choose could get you killed, literally. Wow. So that's what those people had to experience on a daily basis. And every time I stepped on the set And like even when the director did call cut, even when Barry did call cut, I felt that hate in me, and it's real hard to work with, man. People don't understand that when you're an actor. Some actors, I don't know how to put it, but some actors have tools in their tool belt. These emotions are their tools. Right. That's not how I work. I try to work with a legitimate, real emotion. I try to find something in my life that helps me to develop the real emotion that this character is supposed to be portraying. Right. Because then it makes it easier for me to portray the character as far as I'm concerned. Okay, gotcha. So I'm walking around with this real hate, wondering why. That's exactly what it is. Okay. Trevor, why you got all this hate? And my wife and my friends and people asking me, man, you in a bad mood, and you can't just tell your friends, well, today I'm hating white people today. Right. I'm all filled up with hate today.
Why can't you?
Well, I mean, because it's an artificial feeling. It's not my real feeling. I don't hate white people. Right. But this character Samson did and must have. Right. So
had to.
Well, you could actually hate a situation and maybe not white people. You know what I'm saying? Like just honestly speaking, I think Josh here understands a lot of frustrations that I have that I may post on social media. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That he may understand that it's not directed towards white people, but maybe just a history that's been created by that we are subjected to by white people, not white people of today. Gotcha. So we should be able to open up and say, hey, let me tell you about some of my frustrations of some things I see. Have you had any of those moments?
Well, I mean, I don't really, how can I put it? I try my best in my life, brother, not to really see too much color. I know that is a cliche. Mm-hmm. I know that is an intangible statement, and
definitely exists.
In particular now, going through Black Lives Matter and all these things, there's a lot of polarization as far as race is concerned, and it's difficult to keep yourself out of that or live up and above beyond that. But I try to. So, I don't. I look at situations and circumstances through my own individual eyes, not through the eyes of me and my entire race. I don't look at things in that way.
Okay, right. And I could tell that you talk about that in your book that we could talk about real fast. The Eternal Outsider.
10 years black.
Black in Japan. And for those who are unaware, Trevor has been on this show before in the past. Absolutely. He is a guest, and he talked about his book. He is married to a woman of Oriental background, and I guess he speaks on that's how he met her, or just just that culture. Go ahead, Trevor.
I was just going to say, I think it's politically incorrect
to say Oriental.
Oriental.
You have to say Japanese. Just say she's Japanese.
I think it's is it politically
incorrect? You really can't say Oriental.
Asian is the word.
Asian. Would it be Asian?
Yeah.
Okay, because we could say African descent, and people of Haitian background might take offense when they're from a French.
Sure.
See what I'm saying? So sometimes it's a knowledge thing and a confusion.
Sure.
Based off coloring.
Well, being
politically
correct these days, in my opinion, has created way too many different camps of people rather than all just being one people. It's divided us more than anything, in my perspective.
It's all a fight for individuality and being able to express who you are. Right. That's a big thing, especially now. I'm a shout out right quick to Pride Month. All right. All the people that the Pride folk is out there. Absolutely, those who are proud of who they are and being who they are. I'm just gonna shout it out.
So I want to go ahead and read. Thank you, Mark L.
Absolutely. Just go ahead and let y'all know. It's all good.
Because I was down there in Florida, because y'all said I couldn't mention Florida. And they were deep out there.
I know it.
And I was partying like, hey, cheers.
They deep out there every month, though, man. But this is a celebration.
But it was a celebratory moment for them and for myself.
Absolutely.
And there you go. And didn't nobody give a damn about nobody's background.
This is what I'm talking about.
See what I'm saying? Like,
mind your damn business.
I'm gonna be honest. I had some friends saying, I ain't coming out there. I said, what, you scared somebody gonna think you attractive? I mean, you shouldn't be bothered by it too bad. Straight women don't want you. Anyways.
Okay, I'm gonna say this.
There's always an opportunity for pity.
I've never had a single gay person push me to be gay.
Right.
But I have had people knocking on my door, people leaving pamphlets on my car, telling me to be religious though.
Yeah. Oh. Let's circle back around to that. But I want to read this comment by Miss Trey Michael.
Okay.
Some of it is perpetuated by white people of today, though. I think she was speaking in reference to what we was talking about earlier. And another comment is, whether it is conscious or unconscious, there are a lot of white folk who do not and will not see their privilege, nor will they acknowledge the history, although they don't want to deal with how ignoring these things contributes to the systematic oppression and discrimination. All right, Trey, goddamn. I have learned to differentiate between being angry at the systematic issues versus being mad at all white folk.
That is a difference. There is a difference. There is a difference.
So
there is a difference.
There is a difference. Okay, so go ahead and speak on that. Elaborate on that. Trevor, how do you feel?
Well, personally, this whole white privilege thing, I guess there are a lot of black people out there who think that white people should acknowledge their white privilege, like Trey. Is that this person's
Trey
name?
Michael.
Yes.
But my question sort of is like, once these white people acknowledge their white privilege, first of all, what does that mean that they should acknowledge their white privilege? What should they do physically? How do you acknowledge your white privilege, first of all? And then second of all, what does that do for the black person? What does that do?
Well, luckily we have somebody in the white room who could expound on that.
Imagine if only. If
Trevor,
only.
We're going to touch on if only.
Hashtag if only. That's one of those statements we make on the show a lot.
Okay.
I would say to the first part of your question, Trevor, as far as it's really just more, it's more of a mindset. Okay, when you're aware of something, there's a certain consciousness that comes with being aware of something. So, for instance, like there was an example I had. We talked about this on the show a while. Last year, where I was headed in the car to Florida with my girlfriend. She's in the passenger seat, getting pulled over by the police. Okay. Only thing on my mind was like, damn, I'm gonna get a ticket, son of a bitch, da da da. Meanwhile, she's over there like this, hands, on her knees, like everything available, and me, I'm just, digging through stick, not even thinking of anything. So that's an example of white privilege right there, because I didn't even think, because of being white, that this cop is going to think that I'm going for a gun or anything like that. I'm just looking for myself. Not even the thought didn't even cross my mind that he may think that I'm going for a gun or anything like that. Whereas it did hers. So it's just a consciousness, I think, and it doesn't necessarily physically do anything or change anything physically. It's not a physical change; it's a mindset change.
I think there could be physical change, and this is why. I think that we may be looking at it from a point of view where, if we actually start to understand these things, once you acknowledge and notice that some things have happened, then you may understand our pain, our traumas behind it, and in that level, maybe we can finally come to some type of fixture or resolution.
Right.
But if you choose to constantly ignore it, how can we fix any issues that we're having as a race even today if there are some people still acting like it isn't present today?
Right.
So
I think it's an empathy. I think what we're looking for is empathy. The word that we're trying to find is empathy.
Yes.
Meaning we want them to understand that these things, having a conversation with our children. I have two boys. Having a conversation with them, letting them know, hey man, if you get pulled over by the police, I need you to make sure you keep your hands where they can see them. And then follow their orders to the letter, because if not, you could die. And that's a serious thing. That's not something that I imagine people of Caucasian persuasion would have to even acknowledge. Not to say that the police can shoot you. Doesn't really matter what color you are.
Right.
But viscerally, it's more important or more of a life and death situation with black people. And we want them to kind of understand that and have that empathy when you approach, especially as someone who could be in a law enforcement, who could be involved in law enforcement, who is approaching someone who is probably completely terrified of you at this point. Okay?
So Trey, we're gonna bring Trey in, man. I'm tired of Trey.
We all have privilege. type of privilege, and I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
Even black people have some type of privilege within our community. We have a certain privilege within our community. I definitely agree with that. 100%.
Okay, so pretty privileged.
Yeah, that's a privilege.
And didn't want to acknowledge it or how it makes me less aware.
Right. That's the thing. Yes, Trey Michael,
Yes.
please call in and discuss that.
Okay, so go ahead. So Trevor, once again, so any of this that you want to expound on or follow up with, bro?
Yeah, my feeling, man, about that whole white privilege thing, like I said earlier, is it doesn't make sense to me in 2021 for us, quote unquote, as a black collective to be asking anyone for anything. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me to wait for this white race, this big white race, to acknowledge their white privilege, and waiting for them to have empathy for us, and waiting for them to do anything at all for us. To me, that seems to be a childish mentality, to wait for somebody else to give something to you. I think it's our responsibility as individuals to conduct our lives how we want, and hope and pray for the best, but to be excellent. I think it's important to be as excellent as you can be in order to get excellent results, because that's how I feel. That's how I live my life. I think it's a crutch to go around waiting for someone else to acknowledge anything at all that you want within your life. That doesn't make sense to me, but that's my personal opinion.
That one is a little deep right there. I wouldn't say that I even disagree with you, brother. I would say that maybe what the problem may be that lies is, it's kind of hard to do when we got to operate through a system that doesn't totally give us that privilege to do that like we want. And it is in the movie that you are in, the TV series you're in might be episode number 8 or number 9. That I can't speak on too much.
Yeah, you can't give too much away.
Where there was a conversation about just, as you spoke of, us operating in our world without that.
That's episode 9.
Yes.
That's a
versus
fantastic
the other
scene.
guy saying that we might have to do it this way.
Fantastic scene, bro.
Yes. And I set up like, ooh, he's saying some good points. Then I was like, oh shit, he's saying some good points.
Dylan, it was exactly like that on set. Everybody in that scene. Okay, so first of all, we didn't, obviously, we'd all read the script and we knew what was going to happen.
Right.
But we don't know how the actors are going to portray what is on paper.
Right.
Brother, when I tell you, that scene had every single actor in that particular scene on their feet. And my scene partner, oh my God, she was so heavily invested in that scene. She every single time that Barry called action, she was in tears because the scene was so moving to her, and we all felt exactly what you just said, Don. We all felt like, wow, this brother here is really making some good points. Yeah, brother, do your thing. And then when the other brother, who was in opposition to him, started to make his point, we were like, whoa, but this brother's making some sense.
I was confused after it, like who I was siding with. Like,
shout out Deja TV, by the way.
Yes.
She was my scene partner. Go ahead.
Okay, shout out to Deja, man, and shout out to all the actors in that series. Great, outstanding series. But I do want to ask you, do you think that this will have a different impact? Because what we have gotten is a lot of people saying another slave series, another slave movie. Do you think that this will have a different impact?
Absolutely. 100%. See, Barry Jenkins, Academy Award winning director.
Shout out to Barry.
Shout out Barry. He won Academy Awards for Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk.
Okay.
Barry's, what can I say? His platform, or what Barry works best with is empathy. Okay, like we were discussing earlier.
Yes.
And what this particular iteration of the Underground Railroad does is allow us as black people that that out breath. Every other slave show, and I hate to call them all slave shows, but every other show centered around, the trauma of slavery, all it sort of did was make you angry or make you sad.
And gave you nothing.
And gave you no outlet.
Release. Yeah.
Barry's show, this Underground Railroad, allows us a deeper, I would say almost spiritual experience through the show. And then what he does in, I don't want to say the end, but as it goes on, is he allows you to breathe out. He allows you to exhale. He gives you that we won moment. We made it. He does that. And to me, that's the difference between this show and other shows, which, to me seem to mostly about slaves and being whipped and being angry and massa and all that. That's not what this Underground Railroad is at all.
Because it really, I like how it really went into the main character's personal lives.
Absolutely.
So you could really get close and tie it into who they are personally and their background, so you can see how they are or think the way they think. So this is a great movie, man.
Shout out Tuso Mbedu. She's the South African actress who plays Cora.
Yes.
Amazing
She did an amazing job.
Amazing job.
Oh my
Fantastic.
God.
Amazing
Unbelievable,
job.
man.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. She's bound to win some awards for that.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And she's so different on set than that character. Like, that character is solemn and hurt and going through so much trauma and pain. On set, Tuso was so bright, so light, so airy, so like a pixie.
Completely
Shout out
opposite.
Tuso.
Yeah,
Totally.
I just love
and beautiful.
I just love in even inside of the situation of playing the role that she played, she still was a strong black woman.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God. I mean, I was up there watching it with my people, like, oh my God, why she gotta do it like that? But that's that strong black woman.
Yeah.
You was just none backing down, none yielding, as we would hope that most of us are or might have been even in that situation. So, but we don't want. But we want to go on some other ventures that Trevor has. Tell us about some of your other ventures, bro.
My other ventures. All right. Well, I've got my own little podcast. Nothing specific.
Nothing specific.
That covers
everything is specific. But go ahead.
Nothing specific with Trevor David Houchin. I'm working on some music. I just released this song. What is it called? Do You Remember?
You forgot your
I forgot my song.
You didn't remember.
I didn't remember.
Hey, it works.
Well, that's what it's about. I just released a song, and I'm working on trying to put together a collection of songs that I'm going to release this summer. I'm calling it Mindfulness. And what else am I doing? I got my podcast. I wrote a feature film on Grandmaster Flash that I'm trying to get somebody to produce.
Well, let's go into nothing specific and how you came up with the name, and what is specific about nothing specific.
My show is about the minutia of life. For example, I love diners. Okay. Any city I go to all the diners in that city, and almost every time I go to a diner, no matter what time of day it is, I get breakfast. I love breakfast food.
Okay.
And I always either get pancakes, waffles, or French toast.
Okay.
One of my podcasts the other day was on which one is better, pancakes, waffles, or French toast. Those are the kinds of things I talked about. Why are toothbrushes so damn expensive?
Right.
Things like that,
Okay.
These are the kinds. Allergies. I have terrible allergies. Why are my allergies so damn bad? Anchovies. I love anchovies on my pizza.
Anchovies.
These are the kinds of things
delicious.
I talk about on my podcast.
Right. So
Okay.
check out Trevor David. Nothing specific.
Okay. Nothing specific.
His podcast, but we're going to do some more talks about that to push that out there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this song that you
song.
forgot about, man. You forgot about your own song.
You didn't
No. Well, like I said, the name of it was play on words. The name of the song is "Do You Remember?" That's why I said, "Damn, what's the name of my song?"
Yes. We got that. It
Play on
works.
words. But yeah, it's essentially a song about. To be honest with you, it's a song about how things were before COVID, when we were all carefree outside doing things that we wanted to do with our friends and just enjoying social life, going to clubs, dancing, being intimate, meeting people, not worrying about, hey, should I breathe the air this person next to me is breathing. That's essentially what inspired me to write the song. But then it changed into, just a song about memories and sort of nostalgia and, a more beautiful, more kind, more carefree moment in your life. That's what the song's about. Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're actually going to play that song. And I love the video, brother. I love the song. I love the video. We're going to play it. Once again, this is Trevor David. The name of the song.
Do you remember?
Let's go.
Memories fall like leaves. Yeah.
Do you remember when you were outside? You and your friends all chilling at the park side, and it was all just a light, no dark side. You're so smooth, but you're raw like a rawhide. You were all the rage back then. You and your best friend chilling in the West End. You never knew what your life would be like then. Raise the stakes and you take no action. And yet you want satisfaction, but it's a mere distraction. This iteration, life is a fraction. It's the new fashion. This is the sound of my emotion, flying on the wings of my devotion, sailing like a ship across the ocean. Do you remember? Watch out, remember, watch out, remember, watch out. Am I the preacher I used to teach as a teacher? English to students, I tried to reach a different population of people. Spread the vibes to the nations of people. We separate but we equal. No time to question upon arrival. Difficult to tell friend from rival. And young people strive for survival. This is the sound of my emotion, flying on the wings of my devotion, sailing like a ship across the ocean. Do you remember? Watch out, remember, watch out, remember, watch out, remember. Do you remember infatuation? Love could pop off in tight situation. I know you say what you do not mention. I know you say you want intervention. You were all the rage back then. You in a tight dress, just like a princess. Walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of body, girl. Tell me where you get it from. When we were younger, we used to think that we'd live forever. We lived our life on the outside, dancing to stardust under the moonlight. We were all perfect then, taking our time outside in the sunshine. We were all perfect then, taking our time outside in the sunshine. Taking our time outside in the sunshine. Taking our time outside in the sunshine.
Feels like the club, man. Feels like the club. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of a little dance thing. I hope.
Oh, definitely. It feels like the club, man. And yeah, I absolutely remember that.
I mean, I just love the sound. It has an island sound.
It does.
It has an island sound to it.
I have to represent. I'm Jamaican, so I got to represent my Jamaican.
Oh, that's what that is.
Right on.
That's what that is.
Yeah, man, big up.
Get it, man.
Yeah, man, big up.
Okay. All right, so you're doing a lot of work, man. You got the show, you got the music, you got the book. I mean, I'm gonna say, yeah, for real. Like you like
no sleep,
like no sleep, man. No
That's
sleep.
so interesting, man. Like people think that's so interesting. All my friends seem to think that I'm real busy.
But you're stretched, right?
But I'm not. I do things when the inspiration hits, and then when it's done, I move on to the next thing, but it looks like I'm busy because things get released one after the other, or so on and so forth.
It does.
When
But
in
I'm
fact,
really
it
not
took
that
a lot of
busy.
time.
Yeah, it took a lot of time. Like, the book took 4.5, 5 years to write.
Okay.
And then it came out. But in the while I'm writing the book, I'm also recording music. I'm also going on auditions. I'm also, I'm doing my podcast. So all these things start to come out, cascading out one after the other. And it looks like I'm a lot busier than I am. I'm not really that busy. That's the truth. I'm not that busy. I don't like being too busy.
It looks like it, brother. I mean, honestly, when you actually have at the same time a book that you're pushing, although that has been out a year, but you dropped a video, I'm like, whoa. When did he have time to do a song and drop a video?
Meanwhile, during all this was going on, you had your school at the time too going on.
My school. Yeah.
And then the school. So
Yes.
it's like, and there is with an outstanding logo, by the way.
Thank you so much. Designed by a gentleman by the name of Dylan Yale.
Yes,
This man does
Who
a
that?
lot too.
Who that?
Yes.
That's a fantastic logo, bro. I've gotten a lot of compliments on that logo. You really blessed me with that.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Well, that's just part of what I do. You know what I'm saying? Yale Entertainment. As a brand, we have a goal to help people push their product. And I just love to see people's things develop and just be a part of that development of the starting period to the ending period, to say, I saw that when it was right here. I saw that person when they was right here, and now they are right there.
You like the process of manifestation, man. You like to take things. You like to see
say
things,
that word. Yes,
manifestation. You,
Yes.
you like to see things come to fruition.
Yes.
From the imagination to
Yes.
reality.
Yes,
I'm
I
the
love
same
it.
way.
I love it.
That's
I love
why
it.
I'm able to do all this stuff. I know a lot of people who have. Everyone has great ideas. Everyone's got great ideas. The difference between me and them is, when I get an idea, I become obsessed with it becoming reality. Whether or not it's successful isn't important to me. What's important is that if the idea comes into my mind and it seems like something that I can do and it makes sense, I become obsessed with doing it. And then once it's done, I can move on to the next thing. Otherwise, it festers, and I feel bad for not doing it.
Yep, understood.
Yeah, I like to do what I like to do what I think should be done. I like to do it. I don't really like to just think about it and hope for it and imagine. I like to do it.
So what's the next move for Trevor David then?
Well, okay.
What you got in the works?
Like I said, I got this project, Mindfulness, that I'm trying to put out this summer. It's about, I've recently gotten into Buddhism. Through my wife, I guess. My wife is Japanese, like we discussed, and she's a Buddhist. And I've been reading a lot about Buddhism and listening to a lot of YouTube videos, and I really like it. It speaks to me. So I put together this project, Mindfulness, and it is laced with Buddhist philosophy throughout it. So, that's what I'm going to put out this summer. It's on this mindfulness project. And the truth of the matter is, that's kind of the direction I'm moving in with my life. Is I'm trying to embody more of that Buddhism philosophy into my life, and everything.
What do you
that
think
I'm
about
doing.
what are your views on religion?
Well, like I said, I'm trying to adopt a Buddhist perspective on life because it makes sense to me. It speaks to me. I have nothing to say about anybody else's choice for who they worship, how they worship, what they worship. I can only speak on what works for me. I was born and raised, I suppose, into Christianity, but that didn't really seem to work for me.
Let's go back to the movie, the TV series.
Okay.
The idea of religion played a lot into a lot of the situations.
Yes.
I think Josh was speaking on that.
Right? Yeah, I mean, only being 3 episodes in, the third episode, I believe, is the one where she's in North Carolina. That really, to me, watching that, I've already had my own personal views on Christianity and things like that. But after watching that and already kind of knowing how Christianity was used, really, I was just sitting there, and I looked to my girlfriend. I said, I don't understand how any person of color could support any form of Christianity. Because all of the messages of Christianity come from the Bible. So whether you believe that Jesus was white, whether you believe Jesus was black, whether you believe whatever you believe within that realm of that Bible, it's all the same message used in the same way. So it just doesn't make any sense to me.
my personal belief is, again, I have nothing.
Not that there's anything wrong. If they choose that, I just don't personally understand it.
Right.
You know what I
It
mean?
doesn't make a lot of sense
It doesn't make
to
a lot of sense. And so, I mean, maybe do you think that any of that played any role? Because you said that Christianity didn't really fit for you. What about Christianity didn't fit for you?
What about Christianity didn't fit for me? Good question. I guess, wow, we're getting into something deep.
Yeah, you asked to go there, brother.
But
That's the male review.
Wow, that's heavy.
Speak up, man.
Wow. The premise of, Mary giving birth, and wow, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. Man.
Right.
But the premise of this
They'll be all right.
virgin woman, let's just make sure I'm right.
Right.
Mary was a virgin, supposedly, right?
Allegedly.
So the premise of this virgin woman giving birth to the son of the creator of the universe, that premise, which is at the heart of Christianity,
Right.
doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Didn't fit, right.
The very, that very thing doesn't make sense to me. So therefore, for me, the entire religion is built on a house of it is a house of cards.
Okay.
To me. Now, on the other hand, the gospel of Jesus and what he preached, turn the other cheek, generosity, these things, this does make sense to me. These are ways to live. This is a practical sort of guide to live. But the mythology from where these practical guides came from doesn't make sense to me. So for me to go around calling myself a Christian, for me at some point I realized was hypocritical. It just Trevor, you're not, the tenets of Christianity, the 10 commandments, some of these things, Trevor, you're not adhering to what these things are teaching. How can you go around calling yourself this? Now, I know that there are what Christians will essentially say is, the religion is based on faith and redemption. You can be a Christian and make mistakes. And
Wasn't that why they go to church on Sunday? So they can be forgiven for all the bullshit they do Monday through
I guess
Saturday?
so. I guess so. But that's another thing that didn't make sense to me. How can I go to church or go to this building on one day a week and then just ask for forgiveness, and then on the next day just start doing the same garbage? It just doesn't make it.
Did the Spirit talk to you on the set?
Yes, it did actually. Yes, it did.
One of
actually.
the words that was mentioned in the movie was the Spirit, and it was speaking on religion.
Yeah.
Did it talk to you on the set? What was it saying on the set?
Well, there was one scene in episode 9. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but there was that scene, and if you've seen it, you know what scene I'm talking about. But if you haven't seen it, that scene was extremely heavy because my mom had just passed of cancer that same week that we were shooting that scene.
And you were dealing with it, brother.
So I was, I had just buried my mother, and to be on a set 2-3 days later filming a scene of that emotional magnitude was almost too much to take. But I asked the Great Spirit, the Most High, whatever you want to call it, to see me through the scene and to empower me to do what I was there to do, and I feel he did. So
Great
that
thing.
to answer your question, the Spirit absolutely spoke to me.
So it is a belief in a higher power, just not in the rule-based ideology of Christianity.
Well, there's absolutely a higher power. Electricity is a higher power. There's definitely a higher power running through the universe.
Yeah, I mean, the spirit realm is undeniable, honestly. I mean,
You can't deny it. Yeah, it's like people. For those people who don't believe in it, it's like, well, you can ask them, do you believe in oxygen?
Right.
Can't see oxygen,
Can't see
but
it,
it's
can't
there.
touch it. Right. But
well,
you can
waffles,
tell this
pancakes, and French toast.
I mean,
it's all bread. It's just made different.
But that don't mean it tastes good. Just like Trevor said, it tastes good. It might not taste good.
It might not taste good to you. Right.
Waffles and pancakes, always taste good. But French toast doesn't. That's kind of not always. But waffles and pancakes always.
You can't mess that.
No, you can't. Have you ever had a bad pancake? Probably not. No. But you have had French toast.
I've had pancakes I don't prefer.
Sure, but you've never had like a really bad
pancake. A bad pancake now.
No, but French toast, you can have some bad French toast.
Out of a box.
I'd have had some bad pancakes.
I'm weird. I don't like
probably because I've cooked them, but
Well, yeah, but if you made them, that was probably bad.
That's your fault.
You cannot put vodka in pancakes now, and it doesn't happen.
Hey, I ate them because I made them.
Right.
See, I didn't blame nobody else for
You
it.
didn't waste no.
I didn't say it was nobody else's fault because of the pancakes I'm eating, huh?
I heard
You're
that.
supposed to add milk, not honey.
Not Hennessy. Yeah.
That's what makes it taste good.
Oh my God. Anyway, so all right. So basically, okay, I got a good question for you.
Sure.
So out of all of the many things that you do in the artistic realm, in the realm of entertainment, in the realm of the things that you do, you got your podcast, you got your book, you got your music. If you had to pick one that you had to do from now on, which one of those do you think it would be? Would it be acting?
What
Would
a great
it be
question.
writing? Would it be podcasting? Which do you think would be the thing that would best suit you? If they said, you know what, let go of these other things, we're going to pay you forever to do this, which one are you going to pick?
That's a great question. Music comes naturally. I can't not do the music. I can't not do the writing. It's like breathing to me. So, wow. On the other hand, the acting stuff is so fulfilling because I get to play different characters. I can be a doctor this week. I can be a lawyer next week. I can be a detective next week. So that fulfills a need to do very many different things. The podcasting allows me to freely communicate with no boundaries. The writing allows me to exercise my, desire and attraction to words. To me, it's all just communication. So I would just communicate. That's my answer to your question.
That's your answer. Okay.
I would just communicate.
So however that gets out.
Exactly.
Okay. Good answer.
Exactly.
Good answer.
However I could communicate, that's what I would choose.
That's
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's good with the PR.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He out PR.
He is politically correct.
out PR'd TR.
Wow. Who can out TR is politically correct?
Yeah, we seen plenty
sorry,
of
have we met?
TR. Speaking of TR, he just said that your song, your video is now uploaded to RTV.
Absolutely.
Streaming on Roku and Fire Stick on RTV.
Nice.
Our brotherly facet of your Radiocast. Man.
Super cool.
He's
Thank
out
you.
there watching, and he's not able to join us today because he's out
Drilling.
Really. Undisclosed location.
He's drilling.
Okay.
But he had time to fall away from the drilling to upload your
I'm
song.
afraid to ask.
We'll
What
explain,
is he
we'll explain.
Hey,
drilling?
we'll explain. Sometimes you got to get up and go get the rag. Anyway. It's
It can get loud.
it can be a lie.
It get loud and smelly.
Hey, topic. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wood starts to burn after a while.
Hey, this is the case, man.
So get back to Trevor and the show.
Yes.
You got all this going on, right? And you're married.
Yes, I am married.
All right.
That's a situation.
A lituation.
So now
if
you
will.
said now,
And not
now
the-
it was
not the
you're-
marriage.
So you're married,
Yes, sir.
right? Oh, we got a caller. Hold on to that question.
It's from Gulfport, so we know who's down in Gulfport.
Uh-oh.
Is this a
It's the
person
driller.
calling in?
Yes.
It's a driller.
It's a driller. Driller, you on the air?
Hello, you're on the air with the Mail Review on your Radiocast. Yeah, let's get the audio right. Let's go. Yeah. Hello. There we go.
I've heard him like,
What's that? How we doing, sir? Who's calling?
help.
Yo, what's going on? I think this is TR, and he's down in Gulfport.
It's TR. Y'all kind of choppy. Am I choppy on y'all end?
You're good now.
You're good now, brother. What's happening, TR?
Not much, fellas. I'm looking at the show. Great show. Trevor David actually came in and picked y'all show up like 100 notches.
Oh, wow.
My name's Josh.
I think the 100 notches was because you wasn't.
Wow. Okay. I got it.
100
Okay.
notches. Cause you know the crazy thing about it is this. I big up, and y'all know. Darling, you can contest to this. Markel, you can contest to this. Every show that Josh is not on, I big up. My job
Oh my
is to
God.
go the negative route.
Oh my goodness.
The pillow out with me.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. If there's an issue with me, but if he got an issue with me, he might be the problem.
Uh-oh.
Trevor,
Yes, sir.
my brother, you are doing so many major things, man. God knows that it's difficult keeping up with all your accomplishments. I would have to ask one question.
Yes, sir.
You said that your music is a big portion of your life.
Yes, sir.
I would ask what got you off into it originally.
Wow, that's a good question, man. I have been writing little poems and things like that since I could write, since I was 5-6 years old. Melodies and things like that, from Michael Jackson, for example, in the late 60s, early 70s. When I would hear those songs on the radio, somehow, man, I could see the words in my head. I could see the words floating by in my head along with listening to the melodies. So I immediately started writing my own little poems and things like that, never really thinking that I wanted to be a musician. When I got to LA from New York, I had been doing spoken word poetry at different clubs and what have you when I was living in the city, when I was living in Brooklyn.
Okay.
When I got out to LA, somebody randomly said to me one day, "Hey man, you look like a musician. Would you like to come to my studio and record some music?" And I was like, "I'm not a musician, you know, I have some poems, but sure, I'll bring some of my poems to your studio and we'll see what we can make happen." Wound up at a studio and wound up writing and recording my first music project, which was called Mercury's Rising. Okay. And that's how I got into music recording, and that was about 20 years ago. And since then I've recorded 6, 7, 8 albums. Like this project Mindfulness is maybe my 6th album or 5th or 6th album. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You seem like a person that won't bottleneck yourself to a genre, my brother. Do you actually claim any kind of, pocket like R&B, soul, or Caribbean, or you just kind of like what I perceive? You kind of just out there, whatever you feel like.
Whatever the vibe strikes me at the moment. You know, I work with producers of all different genres. It seems like right now I'm moving into sort of like I expressed before, this Buddhism thing. I'm trying to create music right now that is meditational. I think a lot of music is emotional. You know, it jerks emotions from you. A lot of music is purely rhythmical. It makes you want to dance. The music that I'm trying to make right now is, for lack of a better term, meditational, spiritual music that I'm hoping will affect people on a level that maybe they hadn't ever considered before. You know, like I said, it's meditational. It's about awareness. The music I'm making right now is about awareness. That's why my project is called Mindfulness. But in the past, I've done rock, I've done reggae, I've done hip hop, I've touched on R&B a little bit, right. I've done some new wave stuff. Right. So I try. I don't even want to say I try not to stay in one category. Just, the brain is an antenna, and whatever floats in from the air is what I work with.
Okay. I would say this. I've gotten a lot of Trevor's music upon us first meeting. And I would actually say that TR, as a producer, and Trevor can make some interesting music because they have a very, very similar lanes in how they operate.
Really?
Yes.
This brother, he's a producer. TR's a producer.
Yes, he does.
Love to hear some of his stuff, bro.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I think we can work on some things here.
Yeah, I compare myself to, not that I want to, but
do it.
One of my favorite musicians of all time is Seal. You guys know Seal?
Yeah, we know Seal.
Seal's first 3 albums were magical. Another, really innovative musician that I feel that I really am led by is Jimi Hendrix. A lot of people will claim to be Jimi Hendrix fans without knowing anything about Jimmy's music. I'm a Jimi Hendrix-ophile. I watch 1 or 2 Jimmy documentaries every week. I really know a lot about Jimmy. These are the guys that that influenced me. Seal, Jimi Hendrix,
great artists.
Bob Dylan is another person that I really am a big fan of. Gil Scott-Heron is another person that I'm a big fan of.
Just got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
shout out to them. Grandmaster Flash.
So a artist, as we said.
Yeah.
So great guy. Yeah. So thank you for calling in, TR. So appreciate that, brother, out there stepping away from drilling.
Wipe your hands before you go back.
Yeah. Right, Mr. Trevor.
Yes, sir.
You're so diverse and everything. You make sure RTV gets your first cuts on your stuff, brother.
Absolutely, man. Put me on and let's make that happen. I'm all about keeping it in the community and putting it out there some kind of way. So let's make that happen, man.
All right.
All right.
Oh, all right. Appreciate y'all, brothers. Y'all keep up the good job. Good show.
Thanks,
sir.
y'all.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for calling, brother.
Oh, I just hung up on TR. He'll be all right.
He'll be okay.
He'll pay.
Get over
He'll be
it.
all right.
Hey, if there's anybody else out there listening, you want to call in, you got any questions for Trevor David while he's here in the building, remember 678-586-9241. All right, so again, 678-586-9241. Call in with your questions. We're going to get back to the question that I was trying to ask before TR rudely interrupted.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody want to hear from him. So
We did. We needed to hear from him. It was all good.
Did we?
Did we know? You're married.
Yes, sir. I'm married.
Your wife is not from this country.
No, she's not.
And that leads into what?
How did you meet her?
Okay, so my wife is Japanese. For anybody who cares, I used to, and I still do, teach English. That's kind of my chosen profession, I suppose. Beyond, again, it's communication. And I was teaching at a school in Los Angeles, and my wife was the best student in my class. She was the smartest student at the time in my class, and we struck up a friendship based on that. I respected her drive to really pick up this language. She just was a really great student, and we developed a sort of friendship to begin with based on her excellence as a student. And when I noticed that, it drew me into her to want to teach her more. Wow, this woman really wants to learn, so I'm going to do the best I can to teach her what I can, the most that I can, the best way that I can. And then that friendship turned into something more, and now we're married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a song in was it 70s, 80s by the Police?
Yeah, don't stand so close to me. Yeah.
Don't stand.
Sure.
So she's from Japan.
Yes, sir.
Originally. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now you had mentioned that she just got back home.
Yes.
Not home. She came back to Georgia.
Yeah.
She was back home.
She just got back here.
Right. So how was that? How long was she gone? How was that with everything that you've got going on? Not having that partnership, not having that person around.
Well, my wife, since we've been together I think 7 years. She goes back home once a year to go, visit her family, what have you. But because of COVID last year, she couldn't go last year. So she goes for about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, even though that's pretty long. But this time, because she didn't go last year, she went for almost 5 months.
Wow.
And a lot of people look at me and like, yo, how could you let your wife leave for 5 years? This is the word.
Let.
A lot of people say, how could you let her go? And I'm like, what you mean let? I'm not that girl.
It's like allowing somebody.
Exactly.
Right.
Josh.
So it's not my that's not my perspective. It's like, baby, if you want to go do what you want to do, go do what you want to do. But it's tough, man. It really, because after 5 months, people change every day from one day to the next.
Yes.
Right.
When you don't see somebody for 5 months, when they come back or when you return, one of y'all or both of y'all is different. Something is different. So right now, me and her are reacclimating to each other's presence. And
How's that going?
It's going all right, man. It's tough. She left a Japanese woman, but she came back even more Japanese.
Gotcha.
So now I'm having, we're both dealing with some culture shock. I know she's like, God damn, I'm tired of this black American dude that I got live. And every day I'm like,
who I married.
Yeah. And I'm like, God damn, this Japanese girl in my house, So it's,
There's a stranger in my house.
We have to reacclimate to each other. It's culture shock, but that's what keeps us on our toes, and I think that's what keeps the relationship alive.
Let's go ahead and touch on that real fast. Just the difference that we spoke on for people that didn't hear your opinions on the past show when you was here talking about how you got into your relationship with somebody of a different area, and why and what stood out from her versus an American woman.
So basically you're asking me, what is the difference between Japanese women and American women?
What made her different? Period.
What made her say?
What made her stand out versus? Because what's going to happen is, and I go there.
Wasn't her background at all?
I go there. I got it. I go there. See, so black women see a black man, a successful black man, and they say, oh, you got there because you're in movies, you're doing this and you're doing that, and you turned your back on the black woman for a woman of Asian descent, blah, blah, blah. And you know this.
Do you think that there are really sisters out there with that attitude?
I know it. I see them. We're on the same blue app, Trevor.
So they're really angry when they
Yes.
really, man, for real.
Angry.
Some of them are. Some of them don't give a damn. But
I mean,
some of them do.
I mean, some of them
You'll see
angry.
them. They post
some
about
of
it
them
all
are
the time.
ignorant, and some of them are stupid.
Why are they angry? What are they angry?
Because they
feel abandoned. Let's just put it right there. They
That's
feel abandoned.
That's a great term. They feel
They feel
abandoned,
abandoned.
and they think. And I've got to a point where I've learned everybody's background is different. So it may not be nobody abandoned you.
Right.
It may be we have different flavors and different tastes. But on the outside, looking at Trevor walking with his wife, a black woman is going to look at you as like,
Wow, really?
You never. Are you? Come on, Trevor. Come on, Trevor. You don't strike me as shrinking violet in his room right now. You ain't like 16. I mean, come on, bro. You've been around the block.
It just sounds like
You've seen this. You've seen these looks. You've heard these statements.
yeah, but I've never actually experienced it. So if they're doing those kinds of things, it must be it's behind my back. I don't know. What
you've
they
never
think.
experienced that personally. Never.
No, nobody has ever said to no sister or nobody's ever said to me, "Hey, why are you with that Japanese?" Nobody's ever come at me like that. So that's why I'm kind of freaked out that there are really people who would waste their time thinking about that kind of thing.
I
You know,
hear you, man.
that seems goofy.
It does, but I mean,
There's so many other things to do.
Even on the other side of that, I've heard some black men say experienced it before. I mean, I've dated outside of my race. I've definitely done that. I've been in situations where dating outside of my race proved to be very interesting at the moment. Try being at a family barbecue and somebody offers you watermelon and you the only black face at the table, and you hear the gasp, whether you actually literally hear it or you feel it psychologically, and you say, well, yeah, hell yeah, I'll have a piece of motherfucking watermelon and the chicken too. Yes, I'll have that. So you can see this person may not have been thinking of it in that specific way that most black people would take as a personal attack, right? So, that's what I was saying. So, here's the thing. Let me go ahead and bring this around to you.
I feel personally attacked when people offer me raisins.
Do you? But do you like raisins? Do you like raisins though?
I mean,
do you actually like raisins?
I'll eat them.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. I eat raisins. I know, and I didn't mind potato salad.
This is a perfect, nothing specific podcast.
No, it's not.
And
Okay, we're joined in. We're on nothing specific right now.
Nothing specific.
Yes.
But, okay, so let me just tie that into your book and you living in Japan for 10 years.
Yep.
That had to be, if we talk about a culture shock from New York to Atlanta or LA to Atlanta, that had to be the biggest culture shock. Because now I do know that people in Japan definitely have a feeling about darker skin. I don't care what race you are, right?
Well, that's a good question. First of all, let me touch on the culture shock aspect that you talked about. Yeah, moving to Japan was like moving to another planet.
Moving to another planet.
Truthfully, it was like moving to another planet, man.
Right.
I had to relearn.
Government.
I had to relearn how to behave on a daily basis
in that country. Yeah,
but contrary to what you just said, Japanese people in my life have turned out and exposed themselves as the least racist group of people I've ever met.
Really?
By far. Okay, that was one of the reasons I stayed there 10 years. One of the reasons I stayed there 10 years was because I was allowed to, and maybe a lot of people take issue with this. In fact, me and my publisher are at odds to this very day on my perspective. I was allowed to leave my blackness behind when I was in Japan.
They didn't care that you was black.
They didn't care, bro. It wasn't a matter. No, it wasn't a matter of my blackness. It was just this human being. What was more important than my blackness, to be honest with you, was my nationality. The fact that I'm American.
Oh, that hurt more than your color.
I didn't say hurt. I just said it was more important. Japanese.
Emphasized.
Yes, Japanese are much more concerned with your nationality than they are with your race.
All right.
And that manifests itself in the fact that Japanese look at the world in terms of Japanese and non-Japanese. They don't look at the world in terms of black, white, what have you. Okay. So I was lumped into a group of non-Japanese people, which meant in Japan I was equal to this white boy, this Indian dude, this Spanish dude. It wasn't like this guy's black. It was this guy's not Japanese, and that worked for me. Okay. For me, they gave me a level playing field with all the other nationalities that were there. It wasn't about black. It was just about non-Japanese, and that worked for me.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's pretty good.
All right. So I want to go into a specific, nothing specific, but specific with my brother Trevor.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Let's go ahead and hit this hip hop debate, bro.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. It's about to get dangerous, yo. It's about to get ugly.
Shout out to Rap Analytics.
Man, they like Lil Yachty. They don't count.
Oh no. They for the call in 678-586-9241 if you on Tekashi side.
Shout out to Nino.
Come on,
shout out to Nino. Ether and Presidential Worthy. They're my boys.
Right.
Hey, but you know what? I mean, I don't hate it. They're the younger generation. And I had a conversation with somebody about this, right? And they brought it to a understanding for me, right? So they said before we go into our back and forth, right? I had a younger guy talk to me about hip hop and how we view the younger generation as all trash, right? And he said, well, didn't your parents or grandparents not like nothing about your music?
Sure.
Now, we think everything that we grew up on, the hip-hop culture we grew up on, was the best thing ever, right?
Sure.
Rakim, Tupac, Nas, Biggie. But our parents might have said, man, that's garbage.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
And that brought a little bit of you know what? That's a good point made. And what he said was, it's just what you related to that previous generation didn't relate to.
Could not relate to it.
They could not relate to it because it has something to do with where you are at this point in your life, and you can identify with the music of your culture at that moment.
Sure.
And I had to sit back and say, God damn, boy, you're right. So
I would say the only difference. I'm gonna speak in that.
No. Let me say this though. Let me say this though.
Yeah.
Let me say this. So culturally, now is how I look at music. Maybe if I don't identify with the sound or the talent behind it, I understand what they're talking about, and I nod my head like, oh, he said something, maybe not as slick with the wordplay, but he said something lyrically that I understand maybe that this generation is feeling right now, because it's about identifying with the culture more so than the talent behind it.
Correct.
See what I'm saying? So go ahead, Josh.
No, I was just gonna say, growing up, I say the difference between is the kids growing up now. It seems like they give some of their props to some props to the older musicians and things like that. Okay. Whereas when we were younger, when we were coming up, there was no doubting Motown. There was no doubting any of that. There was no disrespect given to those artists because they were artists.
Right.
And we recognize that. Mm-hmm. The younger generation doesn't give the props to as much as I feel like our generation give props to. I think
they do. I think what gets highlighted in this era of media is the people who don't.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I think, and I agree with exactly what Dylan said. I think the people that you draw light on, you don't want the people that are automatically in the gate. You don't want them in the gate. You want the ones that are the outliers, right?
Right.
Because you want to offer a differing opinion from just everybody thinks this is hot. There's some people who don't like Megan Thee Stallion. There's some people that don't like Nicki Minaj. There are some people that don't like Tekashi. but there's tons more people that like them in this generation than there are outliers. And what you want to hear is the word of the outliers to find out, hey, what's your point of view on this? You want to get a different point of view on it. So that's usually what happens. Even the same thing happened when, like you said, in our generation, the people that grew up on the Motels. The cool part about it was we didn't really have that much opposition other than mom and dad saying, oh, that's garbage, da-da-da-da. But they didn't never really necessarily block you from listening to it or go on rants about it or all of that stuff necessarily. But nowadays, with social media being what it is and us having so much more access to different things and hearing so many different things, there's a lot of opposition to it now because you can be easily exposed to it. I mean, like you said, what was one of the things that one of the lyrics I heard, my generation were talking about dealing drugs. Your generation is talking about taking drugs.
Using drugs.
You a drug user, we were drug dealers. Yeah, right. So it's a
not
difference.
That it is great.
Right. Not that it's great, but it's just a difference. But again, the way people view the world now, and the world has changed.
The world has changed.
That's the big thing. So what was your debate?
So my debate is Trevor thinks that the up north artists are better than the down south artists. And I have a problem with this.
It's just
because I grew up. Because if anybody looks at the wall of your Radiocast, the two images that I got up until I get the rest are Nas and Biggie.
Right.
And I give dedication. The two pillars. I want a Rakim. I got a Rakim coming.
Right on.
I got a Tupac coming.
Right
I got a Aaliyah coming. I got plenty of people coming. But we've had debates.
Yeah, it's just it's like you guys said, that era. The Bigs, the Nas, the Black Moon, the Mobb Deep. That's my era.
That man said Black Moon.
That's my era.
Give me some of that on the left side.
They rule the Damager. These guys.
They rule the Damager.
He said
Bahamadia. Yeah, all that. I'm with all of that.
That's Philly. That's Philly.
But
Tribe Called Quest. That
you
that
ain't
whole. Those
Philly.
are
You're not gonna just.
I'm not dissing Philly.
They gonna wash Philly, bro.
But that's where she's from. Bahamadia is Philly.
Bahamadia is from Philly.
My golden era of hip hop.
Pulling up his sleeves. Look at him. Pull him up.
Get ready. He went into a different mode.
Pulling up the sleeves.
Switch. His hat gonna turn backwards in a minute. It's going down.
Now, my golden era of hip hop from my youth is that era. That's where I'm from. That's what I represent. That's what I was doing. So it's not a matter of hating on another geographical region. And most of what we do is kind of it's all in fun. But
we got to chop it up right here, right now.
Rakim is the best. Rakim, Jay-Z is number 2. To me, Big is number 3.
I doubt that.
These are my people. I know Big is controversial, but
Big is where
I'm itching on Jay-Z being number 2. I'm itching.
Jay's 2. Jay's 2 for me.
I can't.
Okay, so basically, and we go into the current culture of hip hop is what we're talking about, and I get where he's coming from because we talk about what we hear today, and me doing what I do, I see a lot of difference. And maybe a lot of people don't see what I see or get what I get as a program director who gets music constantly. And I hear a lot of good hip hop from everywhere. So I get to see the back end of what maybe a Trevor sees in his peripheral.
Okay, gotcha.
See what I'm saying? So when he says South is garbage,
I don't say that.
He doesn't say those words. He just says
Listen,
he alludes to up north being better.
No,
you haven't said the South is garbage.
No, it's not garbage.
You haven't said.
For example, Lil Baby is a genius.
Lil Baby is the hottest right now.
Yeah. For real.
Period.
Lil Baby is genius. Outkast, geniuses.
Yes.
Brother. Who else from the South do I really dig?
Oh man, Killer Mike. Come on.
I don't know a lot of his music. Don't know a lot of his stuff. Scarface. Big Scarface fan.
8-Ball MJT.
Don't know a lot of their stuff either.
What?
Don't know a lot of their stuff
Pimp C
either.
and Bun B.
Don't know a lot of their stuff either. Again, I'm listening. You calling out cats who was out when Mobb Deep was out, Big was out, Wu-Tang was out.
Yes.
So that's where my head was. I'm listening to Big, Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, Black Moon, I'm listening, J. Rue. These are the cats I'm listening to. While, like I said, I guess you cats were listening to Bun B.
Yes.
I mean, we were listening to them too, though.
Well, I would say for me, being from Pensacola, we didn't have an exclusive artist out of Pensacola. Right. So being from Florida, there was booty music.
I love booty music.
Now it was hip hop. All this is hip hop. Listen.
Now I don't know.
Listen, it's a hip hop brand.
Okay.
And then let me say this too.
Yeah.
The music that's coming out, like for example, Lil Baby, Migos, I don't think that's hip hop. Because hip hop has certain cultural elements. Those elements include scratching, graffiti, these kinds of things, and that does not exist in today's music.
But that's my point. Hip hop is a culture.
Sampling.
Hip hop is a culture. And within a culture, there are different multi-facets within a culture. Yes. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I look at it, born in 1975, and I've embodied everything that relates to hip hop. And everything has evolved or changed and grew and has its own pocket or own corner that we consider hip hop. So even if you don't like it, you can't remove it from the fact of what it is.
Well, let me ask you this.
It's like rock and roll. They had hardcore rock and roll, and then they had softcore, then they had pop rock, but it was still all considered rock and roll.
Rock umbrella.
Yeah, but do you consider Migos hip hop? Do you think that they're hip hop?
I consider them commercial hip hop.
Okay.
I consider them a commercial brand of hip hop.
Okay.
More of a pop version of hip hop.
I consider them
pop.
a street pop.
So then trap is a facet of hip hop.
A facet of hip hop because it's a part of the culture which has been created and
recreated and so on.
I would say slid into hip hop, but aren't we all in a sense mostly from the streets? Isn't hip hop in a sense from the streets?
Yeah.
It was created in the streets.
Right.
The streets have just changed. The streets haven't changed. The different elements in the streets have been added. So when we talk about the streets, all we knew was New York culture of the streets.
Right.
We didn't know the down south culture of the streets
until.
So now you add the down south culture, which is different than the up north culture, and you want to say that there's some difference. No, it is different, but it's just a lifestyle, and we all come from that same hardened lifestyle. Now, do we like it? Maybe or maybe not, but it's similar.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
Everything fits in its
so
niche.
it fits when you relate to New York rap, but it fits to me when I hear Outkast. It fits to me when I hear Sci-Hi. It fits to me when I hear J. Cole. Mm-hmm. So when you say,
and he's Midwest, so
J.
and
Cole,
he cold.
No, J. Cole from Carolina.
North Carolina.
He's from North. Yeah, he's from North Carolina.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So
and he's one of the nicest to me.
So when I say, so when Trev says, up north has the greatest, I bring my culture when say, we could kind of run with you guys.
Sure, man. Sure. Like people love Tupac. Tupac is not one of my favorites.
Tupac ain't the best lyricist, but just the storytelling and the artistic view of how he delivered what he delivered maybe puts him above a lot of people, which puts him in GOAT conversation.
Well, guys, so basically the look. Okay, so when you look at it, you have several different ways to look at it. You can look at it from its artistic standpoint. You can look at it from its cultural standpoint, or you can look at it from your personal standpoint, right? So, personally, there are artists that I like that may not be viewed as someone who is technically what we would call a cultural icon. So, for example, like you were mentioning Philly rappers, like Schoolie D was my boy, dude. I'm 6 in the morning.
Are we going to add the roots?
But I mean, I'm talking about specifically from my generation. You know, I'm old as hell, so I'm like last poets to Schoolie D, right? Okay, so when I talk about Schoolie D, though, I love Saturday night and looking at my Gucci. I like stuff like that. If you weren't into that, if that wasn't your preference, then you wouldn't be able to look at it from a cultural standpoint. Now, if you was from Philly around that time, Schoolie D was the shit because he was Schoolie D from Philly. He from our hometown. The stuff he's talking about represents the stuff that we know, right? Right. That's usually how it did for people that were in hip hop. Right. So that's why I'm talking about the different views.
Josh, what you got, man? Because you're a hip hop guy.
Yeah, I'm
He
a
is
hip hop
definitely a
guy, and
hip-hop
I would
guy.
say the scene of hip hop kind of is a little confusing to me, honestly,
Okay.
because it just because of all
Currently,
all
or
those-
you mean overall?
currently, just because there's becoming so many different facets of it. It's like, where does that, like, not that the creativity should end, but like, how much more can fit under one umbrella?
What we allow,
Yeah.
because all this.
But if everything's going to be allowed to fit under one umbrella, then you can't say
but
that
who-
whatever you're going to
who
allow,
ha-
because everything, who allows it to get under that umbrella?
us, because I've often said that we don't have to buy this shit.
Correct.
We don't have to buy.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna do it
Don't do it.
because I'm a doer.
Don't do it.
I'm a doer. Am I not a doer?
You are doing.
We don't have to buy a guy sliding down a pole to hell and saying that he's gonna twerk on a Satan, and then get to say that this guy's hip hop
Man,
because the industry said it was.
man.
Gotcha.
See what I'm saying?
You are correct.
We don't have to buy what the industry says is, because the industry is ran by people who are not from where we are from.
And probably don't care about
And
what
don't
we listen
care
to.
about where we're from. But since, look here, you go to any award show or you watch any award show nowadays, and they say the best hip hop artist is, and it's somebody like, that's not a hip hop artist.
Right. Not
This is not
my
the,
view of hip hop.
This is not even the best hip hop song of the year.
correct. Is this even a hip hop song?
So we hear these award shows and we hear this music. When the last time you heard a true R&B song? See what I'm saying? But they will take a R&B artist and call him a hip hop artist. See what I'm saying? So other people have mixed up the culture.
They've watered it down.
They've watered it down. They've mixed it up for financial gain, and the true people of the culture
Allow.
not allow it. Well, we've allowed it, but we've got stuck in watching it and saying that, what is this? When we don't even have to pay attention to it.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
You are correct.
So hey, I'm a hip hop guy, man. This is
what you do.
This is what I do right here.
Right
This
on.
is what this thing Yale Radiocast was based off of, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I got a couple of comments right now. The industry cares about coins, nothing more, nothing less. That's Trey Michaels. It has been appropriated. That's Trey Michaels. What we got before we get out of here? We want to say thank you to Trevor for coming in.
Are we wrapping up?
Oh, it was about that time.
Well, it is a 2-hour show, Trev.
Wow, time flies.
It flies, don't it?
I didn't know.
Unless you got something else you want to cover real
no, I
fast.
just was thinking that we'd only been talking like 30 minutes, but it's been 2 hours.
It's been 2 hours.
It's so easy. This is what happens when men just get in the room.
I wanna
and just
do this
start
for a
running
living.
their mouth. Ladies, listen up. When your man say he was just kicking it with the boys, this is the kind of stuff we be doing.
Yeah.
We be talking about everything.
And they don't. Everything.
Everything.
If you don't believe it, tune in on Saturdays 2 to 4. YaleRadiocast.com, Twitch,
That's right.
okay, YouTube,
Yes.
RTV. You go on RTV, see the shows posted after we have them live. You can watch them after we've gone live.
Yes.
So if you don't believe it,
Yeah.
Here's where we are.
the proof is there.
That's
The
right.
proof is
Upper
there.
room?
Yeah,
You can't prove I was over there because I was right here.
Got receipts.
Got receipts.
We got receipts, man. But we want to say thank you to our brother Trevor for
Yes,
coming
Trevor.
back in
Thank you so
one
much, sir.
more
Yes.
time.
Peace,
One more
Appreciate y'all
time.
having me. Thank you so much.
tell us about everything that
Well,
you
I
have.
think the most important thing is that, I hope your viewers will watch that Underground Railroad on
Yes.
Amazon right now, if you've got Amazon Prime. It's
If you
right
don't
there.
get somebody's password, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's right there. It's a fantastic show. Don't be afraid to watch it.
Okay.
Don't think that it's too much for you to watch. Don't think that it's going to put you in a bad mood. Watch the show. Barry Jenkins,
Barry Jenkins.
Academy Award winning director,
Academy
did a
Award
fantastic
winning.
job. I want to shout out once again Tuso Mbedu. She is the lead character, Cora. It's a fantastic show, and I really hope that people put their eyes on it. There's a lot of other things you could be watching, doing, what have you, but this Underground Railroad is really, really something that I think we as a people, and when I say we, I mean all people with feelings, should get behind, because it teaches a lesson, and again, like I was saying earlier, it allows your emotions to flow out of you. It's a slave show that does not make you angry and leaves you angry.
Oh, it starts out.
It starts out that way, but that's only to get you hooked.
Yeah.
But that's all I really want to mention, y'all. Just
And it is
watch that
addicting.
Underground Railroad.
It is addicting too.
It absolutely
we didn't want to
is.
shut it off last night when we were
It
watching it last
absolutely
night, and
is.
it got to be about midnight when when the third episode ended, and I was like, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
And also,
Hey, they are long.
and also, what if they watched the show and they was like, this dude is interesting, and I heard him talking on Yale Radiocast.
Right.
What if they wanted to read something? What could they read?
They could read my book, brother. They could pick up my memoir. It's called The Eternal Outsider: 10 Years Black in Japan. It's on Amazon.
Yep. Okay.
It's under my name, Trevor David Houchin. The Eternal Outsider: 10 Years Black in Japan. And this is supposed to be being made into a movie.
What?
I'm hoping.
Who's gonna play you, Trevor?
I would like to play my damn self.
You gonna play yourself? Hold on. I was thinking Josh.
Whoa.
Josh should do
Could
it.
Trevor play a Trevor of 20 years ago or 15 years ago?
Give me.
How old are you right now?
Give me a wig with some locks.
How old are you right now?
I'm 15 years older than I was when I
All
was.
right then, Trevor.
You tried to get me. You trying to get me.
He tried to get you, man. He tried to get you, man. You can't. Don't pigeonhole that, man. He's got more acting roles to go to.
Yeah, exactly. Come on now.
So we can read your book. We can definitely.
It's on
see you.
Amazon. Pick it up on Amazon.
And if I just wanted to if I wanted to not listen to anything in particular or not do anything in particular, and I wanted to listen to a podcast,
You can check my podcast. It's called Nothing Specific
nothing specific.
by Trevor David Houchin, and it's on a bunch of platforms, but mostly Anchor FM.
Okay,
You know Anchor? Do you know Anchor?
Yes,
I would figure.
yeah, I know Anchor.
Okay.
We're not on Anchor, but
we gonna get there.
we are on over 25 streaming networks.
Yes.
Okay. But
So-
yeah, mine's called Nothing Specific, and it is about exactly what the title is. Nothing specific. I'm going to do one tonight on raisins. Golden raisins.
Yes.
Black raisins.
Yes, raisins and potato salad.
Cranberries.
Raisins.
Craisins.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
It's a great topic.
Well, go ahead, Mark L. Lead us out, brother.
Look here, man. Thank y'all once again for joining us here on the Mail Review. Thank you for trying to sit with us here as we discuss the wonderful, the talented, the triple A.
The
Triple A.
That's your new name, man.
I like that.
Actor,
Triple A.
artist,
Author.
and author.
The
Triple A. I like
man.
it.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Definitely myself, Mark L. I definitely want to thank y'all for joining the leg here in this broadcast, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Here with brother Josh the intern.
Go ahead, lead with Trevor, though. What you got leading us with, Trevor?
Trevor, what can you lead us out with today? Can you give us a little bite of wisdom to take the show?
Sure, I can try, brother. I just want to say peace and blessings to everybody out there listening. Nothing lasts forever. This too shall pass. For those of us going through, hard times, and just think positively. Keep your head up and do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you what you're supposed to do. Do what you want to do.
Right.
All right.
Trevor.
In living
Josh, what you
color.
got for us, Josh?
Man, it's been a good show. I'm glad to be here in the building with you guys, man. Very inspirational every week, man. I love being up in here. I hate when I miss it. Actually, Trevor made a good comment today. He wanted today to be kind of like therapy. That is kind of how I view these sessions here, these shows that we have here on the Mail Review. Is it is a form of therapy.
It
we get out
is.
here, we get to be men. We get to talk about what men talk about. Nobody's judging anybody. Nobody's calling. We clown on each other and things like that, but it's all love, man, and it's it's great, and I love it, and I hope that it was that therapy for you.
Absolutely,
today, Trevor.
brother.
And we hope to have you back on soon, talking about
Anytime.
once that album drops. Please let us know.
Wonderful. Okay. Perfect.
And it's been great, man. How about you, Dylan? You got something to say.
Uh-oh. It's
always got something
almost
to say.
empty. We know he gonna have a lot to say.
It's still Gemini season, motherfuckers. Okay.
And that's all he got.
That's pretty much all I got.
And he's in a good mood, y'all.
And he's in a good mood.
He's still in a good
For
mood.
one season a year, he's in a good
Y'all
mood.
better check this while I got
And
it.
it's
I am in
Gemini
a good
season.
mood, and I want everybody to understand this. I posted this today. What is meant for you is meant for you.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we all get caught up in trying to force some things to go the way we need it to go. My brother Trevor, when he got here, he was trying to find his way, and I was like, that man. I told him, like, dude, chill out.
Yeah, you did.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Just chill out.
Sure.
Because I knew, and we met over Terrence's house, and it was just over a game. What was playing? Charades or some crazy shit?
Some cards game.
Some cards game.
Was it charades?
It was charade. Either way, I remember I won, he lost. Nonetheless.
Of course.
That's the important part.
That's the important part.
That's the message.
That's all he really got to say. I won, he lost.
That was the message. I'm undefeated in Terrence's crib. Shit. Okay. But, just watching the growth of people, as we spoke in the beginning, I love that. Just take your time and focus and do what you got to do. What is meant for you is meant for you. We brought Trevor in here a year ago.
Yep.
And everything that is here now was not here then.
That's true, brother.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, bro.
Yes. So
That's huge, man. For real. For real.
I thank you. You know what I'm saying? So,
I think people should do that more often. Just look back in their life 1 year and see what the difference is. Because people don't appreciate their blessings the way they should. You are so right. A year ago, I did not have music. I was not on the I didn't have this particular music. I was not on the Underground Railroad. I just bought a new car. I didn't have a new car. I wasn't particularly happy about my life here in Atlanta. But now here it is a year later, and I'm feeling pretty good about what's going on.
Right. So it's meant for you. You just gotta reach for the spirit.
There you go.
Right. We gotta have that blessing. No matter what it is you believe, just know what's for you is what's for you. We thank everybody for tuning in to Yale Radiocast, the Mayor Review. Shout out to Women in the Mic. Shout out to Rap Analytics. That was out all this week.
It's okay.
That was out all this week.
But the flagship.
But the flagship is here.
Hashtag
Hold up. We're going to talk about if only after we go offline. Okay? Because we got to have a conversation, brother.
Hashtag if only.
But thank you for tuning in, everybody, to the Mail Review. We love everybody. Catch us up on Twitch at Yale Radiocast, YouTube Yale Radiocast, RTV at RTV, on Amazon and Roku, Fire Stick, RTV, everything. You know what I'm saying? You catch all this content here. This is just the brand. The brand is the gold standard. The motto is get the business. We thank you, everybody. Holla.
Yale Radiocast.com.